I hope I have the energy to do a decent job of this today. Brave New World, kind of a companion piece, I suppose, to 1984. In 1984, it was manipulating language, reducing freedom of speech, constant surveillance, the threat of torture and imprisonment, etc., that authoritarians used to take control of the population. Brave New World suggests something different. It suggests that if you just keep people stoned enough and make sex easy enough to find, then they just won't. They won't bother to question the leaders. And I think that both of these books have. There's a ring of truth to both of them. Brave New World is not as well written as 1984. I don't know the guy's name here. Huxley. Yeah, he shows off all the time. Walt Disney said that too. He wrote some stuff for Walt Disney, and Walt said, "Nah, man, you're just showing off." So it's a lot of sophisticated language and that, I guess. Doesn't impress me much. I mean, it's worth reading, but The Dagger of Islam should just maybe be an idea is to just open these up. Anyway, this was written like a long time ago, talking about the danger that Islam poses to the Western world, and this is before the United States was so engaged in corrupting countries in the Middle East for oil. At least one of them was really bad. But this is going back like 50 years. 50 years, my dad said to me, Islam is different, and they're going to be a serious problem in the future. It was 50 years ago. How did he know that? How did he know that 50 years ago? I always was curious about that, and it's likely he knew from reading a book like that. Steven Pinker, Enlightenment Now. He takes a really positive view of everything that's happening, and he says, in the last like 10 years, we've reduced absolute poverty by 80%, and things are improving all the time. So the doom and gloom scenario, a lot of it is just so unrelated to anything real. And what he wants people to do is just to go back to the scientific method and to critical thinking. It's a great book. He's another Canadian. It's a good one. Oh. I wish that I could remember more of these books. But I remember On Liberty by John Stuart Mill. I haven't checked before. Yeah, I've got some stuff. Okay, the whole question, and this is the whole question, is the nature and limits of the power which can be legitimately exercised by society over the individual. That's the big question. That is the big political question. If it's too much power, then you infringe on people's rights. If it's too little, if the society and the political system has too little, then you could wind up with absolute pandemonium. This guy is more in support of the one sort of mistake than the other. It's more dangerous to give a society or a government too much power. Human rights. These very short introductions are a little expensive, but they're very good. Okay, this brings us back to Indonesia again. Oh, yeah, one more Indonesia story. I was on the boat from Bali to Lombok, and I met these three guys, and they were having themselves a bloody good old time. And so I just talked to them. So what's going on? And they said, "Oh, there's guys in the bathroom on the boat, and what they're doing is they're cutting their arms with razors and sticking heroin in the cut." And they're saying, "Yeah, that's not a great way to do heroin." But it was okay with them because they just bought some and snorted it. So the very first thing I know about these people is that they're just bought heroin on a boat from Bali to Lombok, and they're just buzzed. They're just crazy having fun. There's three of them. And then later I realized that they were with a middle-aged woman. And so I got talking to her and I said, "Okay, it's really nice talking to you, but, how in hell did you get mixed up with these three guys?" And she said, "Oh, they're my sons." Two of them were like really not aggressively or anything, but flamboyantly gay. As it turned out, only one was her son. I'm sorry, two of them were her son, and the other one was like a high-class waiter in a restaurant in Amsterdam. So I go, "Really? Okay." I mean, I got to admit, I'm intrigued here. And we wound up staying very close to each other. How did that happen? Yeah, but anyway, maybe we just, it was an accident, I guess. And so I got to know them, and it turns out, that they're not like just these wild characters that snort heroin on the boat, but they're actually like executives for a telecommunications company or something, one of them. And then one day we decided to go for lunch. We went to another island, and when we got there was like a sort of a transgender Indonesian guy who had pretty obviously been paid to meet us. And we had lunch with him, and all that was great. And we talked a little bit more, and we're saying, like, "I'm just curious, like, what's happened? Why do you do this?" And the mother explained to me that she wanted her kids to have some idea where they came from. So a lot of people wouldn't be aware of this, but Indonesia was a colony of the Dutch East Indian Trading Company, sort of like that. And the Dutch had control over Indonesia until quite late. And what had happened was that these kids' mother had a romance with a sort of a transgender, whatever, not transgender. I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyway, so the mother had a relationship with a guy like that and had two kids. So her agenda was to take them there and introduce them to their own culture. And what was amazing is they were Dutch, and they were really kind of like, I'd say white supremacists, but they were very proud of being Dutch. I mean, really. And what happened is over the course of maybe I knew them for 5 or 6 days, is that he started to learn a little bit of Indonesian, and he started getting more tanned. Actually, it's two of them. They both started getting more tanned. Only one of them was gay. The other sort of acted that way because he grew up in Amsterdam. But, yeah, it was the gay one that was more interesting to me, actually. Because he was smarter. He spoke like 4 or 5 languages, and, kind of outrageous, really. Yeah, so he was learning to speak Indonesian and getting a tan, and like his attitude was chilling out. He didn't feel inferior or anything like that, but he didn't feel so superior. I swear to God, that was one of the most amazing things, amazing experiences in my life. Um, what else happened in Indonesia? I know that there was one other thing. Um, I know that if you say to somebody, "Okay, I saw something in Indonesia that I think was the most horrible thing that I've ever seen," like personally, any group of people do to a person, um, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. So you're going to think something even worse than I want to say than what happened actually. And so why do that? Why put that in a person's head? The thing is because the worst thing I've ever seen was in a Muslim country. Um, yeah, what else? I'm tired for this, I think.